Hi there, this is Jay. Welcome to my channel. I thought I'd give you a tour of the car and how everything's set up. I'm not going to give you a full in-depth tour, like take everything out and everything, because that will take forever. And I have no place to put anything because it's all wet grass here. Well, I am here at Hickory Hills County Park. It's a pretty nice campsite. There's 7 sites. It's free. There's pit toilets, picnic tables, and absolutely nobody here because the last few nights it's been below 30 degrees. And you gotta be crazy to sleep out here, right? But today is super sunny, it's really nice. Now, I've been meaning to give you this tour for quite a while, but it's always like, now's not a good time, now's not a good time. But I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna do it now, the way it is right now, as it is, as I've been working out of it and living out of it. So, here it is. Let's start out with let's go around outside, and then we'll start out with the driver's side door. So, nothing much going on. It's just your typical dirty car. Nothing crazy going on. I do have the blackout panel in the back, so it's black there so you can't see through. And it rained a little bit last night, so it kind of washed some of that mud away. I do also have a blackout blocker here. I should have taken it out while the sun was out so I can warm up the car. I did take it out of this window so the sun would come in so I could warm up the inside of the car. It actually got to 73 degrees during the day, which is quite amazing. And I'm talking really fast because it's really cold. But driver's side, it's always like this. I'll show you what's inside in a little bit. And because I've been editing videos, I have to leave the solar panel out. Sun's behind the trees now, so it's not as effective. But in the winter time at maximum angle, it's 30 degrees. So the solar panel on top just does not work too well. You need a separate panel or a way to fold that to get more angle out of it. Let's head on over to the driver's side. Alright, so this will be nothing crazy. I just washed my hair with some soap and a bottle of water, so this is drying right now. It's if I keep this door open too long, it's going to be too cold and it'll just freeze. But this is some excess food. I usually keep it in here. There's some bread and bagels in there. I put a Mountain House there because I was going to eat it later. There's a pie, some ramen. And normally my laundry bag isn't as big, sort of. I have to do laundry, so that's sitting here. Usually it will go underneath the seat behind here. And this is my laptop bag. That normally I keep in the back. I just put it in front because it was kind of in the way. And then normally I also don't have too much garbage, but I do because I've been here for a couple days now, and I had some other garbage to throw out, and a lot of extra paper towels because for some reason there was a lot of condensation on the windows this morning. My shoes, this to wipe off the excess snow that happens. Off on the side, I have garbage bags, some candles, and this here is my refrigerator. And from here, this is actually hanging off a hammock that I got from Kamchatka Gear. It's ran by the person that runs the YouTube channel, SUV RVing, and he makes these and sells them. Initially I thought it was too small when I got it, but it's been perfect size. You can put all kinds of stuff there. I clip all kinds of things there. There's my GoPro. There's my paper towel. Whoops. There's wet wipes up there, and I have a reason why the wet wipes are up there later. And on the other side, my pillow is. I hang a knife as well as a flashlight up there, so in case I need a flashlight or a knife for some whatever reason. I keep my hat over there. And then in the passenger side, I usually keep all my water. This is a 5-gallon bag I refill at water refill stations. I use 3-liter bottles because I like to pour from here into those, because it's almost impossible to use that spout on these 1-liter bottles. So I pour into 3 liters, and I use the 3 liters to pour into these 1 liters to drink. And this is my ice axe. I just put this here so I don't stab myself. Although I think if I roll the car, it's gonna fly off and I'll impale myself, so I should probably use some rubber bands or something. And down here, I have a black fleece covering up anything that might look valuable, which is my butane stove, as well as my day hiking backpack. There's nothing in it, but you know, if it's a backpack, someone might want to steal it, so usually cover it up. And that there is a fitted window shade for the 4Runner, and I've used all kinds of these before, but I've never bought a fitted one. They are expensive, But once you use it, you'll never go back because you just pop it right up. It fits so well, you never have to close the visor. It just squeezes right in. Perfectly fitted. It's really nice. And in this 4Runner, I have these side pockets. I hold random things. So on this one I have a lip balm, lighter, hand sanitizers, tissue, random coins as well, and another water bottle. And there's my cell phone holder. That's pretty much it. And this part up above here, I keep this is a seatbelt cutter / window breaker. I put it here because I'm not the strongest swimmer and I drive by lakes and rivers a lot. This is I was hoping to put more things in here, but it's not very big, so I just keep my national parks pass in here. And that's it. I close that up. By the way, a moving blanket, super cheap if you get a black one. It's great because it protects the seat from anything heavy like the 40 pounds water here. But you can also use it to just cover everything up. If you use black things to cover everything up, when they look in through the window, it just looks black. So, big thing is you don't want to make it look like there's anything valuable in here. That, by the way, is a plastic rug for outside. I've only used it a few times, so the times I've used it, I really wanted it, so I don't want to give it up. But it's awful big. I don't know. Behind the driver's side door, I put random used quart-sized bags. I use this for garbage over here. These are all empty right now. Down here I have some work gloves, a little solar lantern, my Dr. Bronner soap and hand sanitizer. I've used the squeeze ones before, but I really like the pump. It's so much easier, and you only have to touch it, you know, a little bit to get a whole bunch in your hand. So it's really nice. Here's my refrigerator. Here's actually a quart size with some garbage in it. It's mostly paper towels right now. Tortilla. I use this organizer to hang off the driver's side, and I have random things that I use often. I won't go into it, but it's pretty much everything I use really often. And I just finished editing a video, so I have computer stuff and a candle, a UCO lantern candle. I've been using that most nights to try to stay warm. It actually helps a few degrees in the cold, so I've been relying on it actually, and I think it helps, and it helps with the condensation a little bit. Now over here, I keep a 20 amp hour battery. What I do is I plug this into a car jack, and then this gets charged while I'm driving, and then when I park, I charge my phone off it. So it's kind of extra power. I don't know, so far it's been helping. If you sit at one spot for too long, you have to plug it in to your solar and charge it from there, but most of the time it's okay. These are chip closing things, vitamins, camera, quick detach plate, random lactate tablets, really random. I have fingernail clippers, scissors, lip balm, flashlight, lighter, floss, remote for the light that's in the car, and utensils. Pretty basic, but all the necessities. Down below here I have that green roll is actually plastic bags that you can go number 2 in. They're really sturdy and odor absorbing, but that's in case I need to do that. But this is a folding chair, fire extinguisher, some hand warmers. I've been using a lot of these lately. And I have bug netting, which is usually covering this door when there's bugs out. Folding table, and back there's another folding chair and a little emergency Mylar type tarp. And this is where I usually put my laundry when there's not a lot, because you could fit quite a bit. This blue thing is just from Walmart. It's a bath mat. I wanted a way to protect the carpeting and everything from dirty and wet shoes. So that way when I get in, I could just kind of leave my shoes here. That's why it's so dirty, and it doesn't get the carpet dirty, and I could easily replace this. This is the seat that I sit on. This is a Thermarest Z-Lite sole. This is actually what I use throughout the entire thru hike, and I've just been using it. It gets minor cushion, probably hardly any thermal capability, but it helps protect the wood from wear and tear, too much wear and tear. This is just a chair pad I got from Walmart as well. Over here at mouthwash, Lysol wipes, and then moisturizer, and then wet ones in the back there. These are extra candles, and this is connected straight to the battery for high power drain things like my laptop. And that's connected to the charge controller, and it's only for lower power items, as well as the fridge, and that's max. I got the 3-prong, but only 2 would work. If I add a third, it seems to short circuit it, and I have to reset the charge controller, so oh well. And I actually have this fan charging because I was running it earlier to try off a window. This is a battery operated fan. It's super nice. I use it all night. You could plug it into a battery bank and then just run it off the battery bank. It runs as long as you have power in your battery bank, so all night easily. So pretty nice. Must recommend if you are intending to live in a car or van or something small. I have 2 of these fans, and I also have 2 extra batteries, so they're always ready to go. I didn't show ya. Back here is my first aid kit in a roll. It's very expanded. It's a big first aid kit, bigger than most people probably have, but it's what I like to carry with me. So this is a 22-liter refrigerator. It's from Alpi Cool, and I've been using it this whole time, and it's been running perfectly. So the one big thing is when you drive on bumpy roads a lot, you have to make sure those plugs don't loosen up. But a little light turns on when you open the lid. It's really nice. You could put a half-gallon box of milk in here, as well as ham, Gatorade, creamer, vegetables, Thousand Island dressing, and some cheese. Lots of vegetables, but very, very nice. Didn't mention underneath the cooler, there's actually a large black box here. That's a toolbox with a variety of tools I might need to fix or retighten anything. I actually haven't had to use it just once really, but it's useful because it keeps the refrigerator lifted up, because when it's down, the plug on the other side kind of gets in the way. In the little crevice here, I keep a gallon bag full of quart bags, and I use quart bags a lot, so I keep them here. These are random like grocery bags. I don't get too many of these because I use reusable bags all the time. And then back in here I actually have a chrome umbrella, as well as a little bar for videography as well as microphone use. But there's also a 10-foot extendable tripod in there, which I haven't used much because it's kind of flimsy. So behind the seat, these are battery banks that are hand warmers, and they are excellent. I didn't think I was going to use them. I didn't use them until the last several weeks, but I use them all the time now, and I especially like this little guy much better than this big one. Bigger capacity, but it gets hotter and it drains quicker. But this is a little less capacity, but it's perfect, and it lasts 8 hours. I have my camera as well as extra batteries and some ND filters in there. This is my coffee/beverage box. I have like some creamer, coffee. I use instant, sugar, and then there's my tea kettle. And I've been using ISO Pro Fuel because it's hard to do anything outside because it's been so windy lately, and butane does not work when it's around freezing. This is a miscellaneous food bin. So I have a pot, salt, pepper, seasonings, things like that. Here's wet ones, my propane bottle with a little adapter so I can use camp stoves. This is this is a collagen supplement. This is my water bottle. There's another fan, and this is my bathroom kit. I usually take this whole thing when I go to the gym to shower, and I just put it back there recently. Haven't put it away anywhere else. Up here is, these are the 2 poles for my awning system. I usually clip it here and I tie it here, otherwise it flies forward, so this keeps it from going too crazy. And I have some of the window blockers up here as well. And there's also a puffy jacket I've had to use once in a while. Not right now because the sun's still out, but I may have to use it again later because it's going to get colder again later. And randomly, there are several neodymium magnets that are covered in plastic. I find they are very useful for holding things on the outside of the car as far as the bug netting. I use them for some other purpose as well, but I think they're handy. I use one to help hold the mosquito netting down here as well. It's so strong that there's no way anything's gonna pop it off. And I have one of these, also neodymium, holding it in. And the screen actually has neodymium magnets epoxied in. I need to do that to the others. I forgot to mention, this is a cell phone holder. So I usually clip it here and then actually watch movies and whatnot here. I have some cordage to hold it so it doesn't fall forward too much. Kind of hold it in place, but super handy, super handy. Up top, you'll find I have wet wipes here because I hang the handle I hang the candle off of here, and I find that if I put the wet wipes of right here, the candle actually keeps them from freezing overnight, so they're actually thawed out in the morning. Very useful when you need wet wipes in the morning and you're camping in sub-freezing temperatures. I have this solar light. This is my main source of light. I actually have another one, but this is my preferred way because it lights down so I can see what's going on below. I have headlamps and a rain jacket. There's my flashlight and whatnot. And there's my main source of light that I initially planned, but I have a remote for it and it turns on. It doesn't look bright now. It's pretty bright in the dark, and that's actually on the lowest setting. But it's useful when I need to make the bed or something like that, or look for something way down below where it's dark. But normally I don't use it because it's off to the side, and I use that yellow lantern. And this is my bed. It's basically a foam bed, about 3 inches thick. I've slept in it a lot, so I knew I'd be comfortable in it. So I got it, and I just have a twin sheet. It's very large, so I wrap it around, and I use this wool blanket to wrap around. This gives you a lot more insulation. It's actually really cold without the wool blanket. And underneath here, you will actually find I have a Z-Lite sole pad under the entire torso area. And that's to keep myself really warm when it's in sub-freezing temperatures like it is right now. Without it, I'd probably be kind of cold. During the summer months, I did take it out and fold it up. But now that it was winter, it was time to put it all back together again. And there's my pillow. And this blanket I use to cover myself, my legs, when I'm sitting here working when it's super cold, because it does get really cold. And there's my bed, totally unmade, because that's my desk when I'm working, this whole area. So I had the laptop right there, and I was working basically, staring out the window, enjoying the sun. That right there is a solar panel cable. Well, let's go to the back. All right, here's the whole back. Here's the back of my bed. Super messy because I slept in it and I didn't make it because I have to make it right before I fall asleep to balance out the blankets just right. Otherwise, it's just not as warm. This is a camera gear. This is a miscellaneous gap. I just kind of stuff stuff in there because there's a gap in there. But this is a big black box. I put bigger things that I don't often need in there. I'll have to organize that. Here's my little backpack I use when I go shower. Within there, there's a little solar panel for charging battery banks and an air compressor for blowing up the tire. On this side, I have jumper cables, new pair of flip-flops because my current ones are gonna die, my sandals for when I go backpacking, as well as another pair of shoes, and another solar panel. And back there, there's actually a battery charger that runs off of AC, because the 4Runners have an AC outlet in the back, so you can actually plug something in and charge your batteries that way. On top of this black bin, I have a bin full of clothes. I thought about making shelves here before, but if I did, I would use 3/4 inch plywood just so you can get the screws in better. But that would have taken up a whole bunch of space, and I wasn't sure how far out to make it, so I just thought for this trip I would just use all plastic bins and see how I like it. And so far I like the plastic bins. They kind of move around a lot, but I prefer them. I think I'm going to stick with the plastic bins. This is the awning pole. So this is just clothes. Pretty much I keep all my clothes in there that are clean. I use this elastic netting to hold everything in place so it doesn't slide forward or side to side too much. It's not super strong, so things do slide around, but I mean, it's still better than nothing. Alright, you can see the side better. This is my tarp for the awning. And I have a fishing pole in there. I haven't used it once. Ah, well. And here are the other tubs that are visible from the front a little. The bottom one, I keep it wrapped because it'll explode otherwise. It's a bunch of backpacks and like stuff sacks and all kinds of things, all backpacking related. So I don't often use it. So it's wrapped up. Otherwise it's real cushy. And that's all in there in the bottom. And then second level is food. A lot of things I don't need. So I kind of want to get rid of them. But I do have extra vitamins as well as osteo biflex. Here's some oatmeal. There's a whole bunch of other random foods in there as well as supplements. So I like to keep it in there. This one I keep full of miscellaneous backpacking gear. Little stuff sacks, cordage, bear bag. There's an insole right here. One of those green super feets. I also have extra lighters, bug repellent, just kind of all random things. And then this one, I have common food things. There's actually a whole bunch of utensils in there, as well as it looks like there's sugar and there's seasonings in there. So it's a lot of things I like to use often. Plus I don't want to put them down here because I don't want any of them falling over, and it's kind of madhouse in there. Now for this drawer. They used to be really organized, but they're not as organized as they used to be. Now, I can only open it this far, so I only put things in there that I use really rarely, or I have to pull out once in a while. I won't go through everything in there because there's so much, but it's a lot of tools. There's a tire repair kit in there, so if I do get a puncture in the middle of nowhere, I can repair it myself. I have all kinds of camera mounts. There's different GoPro accessories in there. There's random things. There's also different microphones, wireless microphones. I have a directional shotgun mic, random food items in there as well. And in this slot, I have dividers. This is all camera gear, almost all camera gear. So I have a whole bunch of tripods, extra lenses, lighting, hoods, lots of tripod type mounts. It's kind of crazy in here. GoPro mounts, suction cup mounts. It's crazy. And then this one, this is various camp related gear and miscellaneous things that would fit. So this is a windscreen, saw, folding saw, and this is a hammock. This is my 2-liter, I think 1.5 liter, 2-liter pot with the Solo Titan wood stove. I keep that all in there. There's extra mosquito netting in case I want to make something. This is an adapter for the butane stove. Miscellaneous random things, cordage. Mostly this folding saw barely fits in there diagonally, so I have to leave it there. And this one's mostly all tools, except this guy. Mostly all tools. So I keep wood glue, extra latches for the door, a lot of cordage, screwdrivers, whatnot, multi-tool, hatchets, or hatchet, and multiple knives and zip ties. Lots of zip ties of various thicknesses. And then that closes up. For some reason, this drawer doesn't come out any more than this. It stopped doing it recently. I think I've been too rough. I need to take everything out and slide the drawers out. I know the drawer does come out. It just doesn't slide anymore. It's kind of, I hope there's not a screw loose. But usually it opens more, but because of this, I only put things that I rarely use, like adhesive spray. I had to use that for something, but most things in here I don't use often at all. And this spot, it's also miscellaneous gear that I often use or often don't use. Thing is, it's easy to start organized, and as you use things, it gets unorganized. I really got to organize. Now, I often put these guys random places wherever there's room. There's my binoculars. There's a monocular hiking umbrella. My knife sharpening kit. This is my Thermarest X-Therm. And I have various water filtering systems here. They're all new, so I don't care if they freeze. This is my SteriPen, if I ever needed it. And I actually have a Plexamid tarp over here. Have not used that yet. I intend to though. So that's that. And here is my bathroom kit. My fanny pack, pillow. A lot of backpacking related stuff as well. I need to really organize it all better. Well, these are all extra stakes, all wind up in here, and these are stakes. This is mosquito netting, one-man mosquito netting, which would work with the Plexamid. And I keep camp stove in there, as well as camp stove refill adapter there. And this is the big one, the 1 pound one. And just random bathroom stuff, Q-tips, and extra poop bags. It's always good to have extra, especially because you can't just buy those anywhere. So when you find them, keep them. And that's it. The drawers are excellent. They work out well, but it is annoying when I only go so far. I only had 22-inch drawers with me, and I didn't want to buy new ones. So I used them thinking I'd be okay with them, and I'm okay, but I'm gonna order 28-inch ones. Oh no, my window part's falling off. I'll put it back up later. See how they're black? It's nice. The 4Runners also have this little bay on the side, and I just stuff my towel and my reusable shopping bag in there, as well as a carbon monoxide detector off on the side. I don't know how effective it is there in the corner, but you know, just in case. This light is hooked up with those Yugo thingies. They actually work really well. They're kind of rubbery, so they don't break when you actually tug on them, but they hold really pretty well actually. They're actually worth it, I think. I used to make fun of it, but this side I had the solar panel on top, and I run this cable, and I run it through the window because if you run it through the gap on SUVRVing, he did some testing, he said that water will sneak through the gaps, so it's not good, and he tucked it under, which also worked fine for me, but I found that the wind blows in, so I use this pipe insulation, and I shove it in, and even when the rain is blowing against this window, it keeps it from blowing into the window itself. And I found a little bit of snow did come in one day, but because I had that black window blocker there, it kept it just right at the tip, so worked out really well. It also feels safer when you go to a car wash as well. And that's it. Let's open the door and see what's inside. Yes, from this side it's a total mess. But there's a cable. It goes off the corner. All the solar items are in below the head area, and I have heavy things below here. I'll show you some of them. So this bed can just pop right up pretty easily. And I have a hinge here. And you just gotta push this cable out of the way and it holds up. You can also lift this whole thing, but you have to make sure the bed is further back. But here, it's kind of a mess here. That's my headphones. Here's all my solar stuff. I actually keep these splitters here, so 2 sources can go in and 1 goes out. 2, 1. That way I can use two solar panels. And this cable is the second one that goes to the other one. Here's my charge controller, showing 12.8 volts. I'll make a whole video about my solar system later, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Bluetooth. I have a little fuse/switch for the solar, fuse/switch for the battery, and I have an inverter. The inverter is okay. I leave it off, so I just put stuff on top of it. So there's no current going to it, so it's perfectly safe. And below there are the 2 100 amp hour batteries. AGM batteries. In this gap, I keep primarily this quilt because you need to keep it not compressed, so it fills up every inch of space down here. But down here I keep extra food, like bulk item food, as well as there's coffee filters, which I don't ever need that many of. But I keep a lot of other heavier items down here because I don't want to put heavier items in the drawers because that would potentially break the drawers. And I don't want to put heavier items in the plastic bins either. So, and keeping them down here keeps all the heavier items low. This is where my tow strap is, right behind the battery bank, as well as my shackles to be able to attach the tow strap to a car and whatnot like that. But that keeps all the weight. The heaviest items are all down here, except me. But this is it, and you just close it up, push the cable. Oh, my headphones. And then just close up, fold down the bed. And you just kind of have to make the bed every time, but price you pay when you have such a small area. But so far, this has been working out really well. From here, this bed is 6 feet long, and this bed fits in here perfectly, and I'm 5'6", so if my head's here, I could sleep with my toes extended out and it doesn't brush against the back of the car door. So far so good. One thing I did that's interesting is I tied this orange cordage I had extra of up there because I found I need to clip this fan to it and then run the fan like that with the windows open, and that helps blow all the warmer, moist air out the window. But I found without the cordage, over time it would keep slipping, and the cordage gives it extra friction so it holds it in place better. But that's really important, I think, when you're camping out in the cold. You have to fight condensation. It's going to get colder when you fight it, but I'd rather have no condensation and be super cold than be warm and wake up with layers of ice on all the windows. But that really helps. Crack your window a little bit and then show you. And if you can make out the fan, but it just barely blows out, and it works. I mean, it doesn't prevent it 100%, but it's way better than nothing. And this cordage totally helps it. I found at times waking up with it leaning like this, which doesn't do anything, so that helps. And the hammock is super useful. One last thing, I keep all my cameras in here, as well as my passport and extra cash, a bunch of extra cash in reach. Anything really expensive and small, I just kind of throw in here. That way I can lock it up anytime I leave the car and it's safe. So, more cameras. Lots of cameras in here. But that's it. Now, I really think if you have a truck and they make these safes for it, you should totally get one. They're kind of expensive. I think it was $250, but it's really nice knowing that if someone breaks into your car, all your valuables are locked away and they won't be able to get to them. So maybe they'll steal some stuff, but extra credit card, extra cash, things like that, it's good to have. So here's the back of the car with all the plastic tubs gone. It's flat. Some people ask me why I made it so high. Like, you can't sit up in it because it's so high. The reason I made this platform the height it is because this is even with the wheel well plus 3/4 inches. That way I can have the whole bed. Otherwise, with the wheel well sticking up right here, you only get a little bed. You don't get all this extra space here. So I have this, and this is actually, once the plastic tubs are gone, this will lift right up, just like that. So once you lift this up, it's actually locked in over there. Here's a Miscellaneous Gear here. Oh, more insoles. But right here is the air pump, 12 volt operated air pump, and in here is the jack. So I do have to get all the plastic tubs and this off before I can get access to the jack, but I still have access. I don't have to unscrew anything, so that was the plan. I didn't want to have to go through super major alterations to get to the jack, but that works out. This whole platform is bolted in with 2 bolts on the bottom, but they're just attached to a little bit of wood. So I attached this onto it to hold it in so the back part doesn't bounce up and down as I hit bumps and whatnot, and it seems to hold pretty well. I did not use screws there, I used bolts that go all the way through, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, I'll show you a picture of it, but they are bolts, not screws, so they have a good grip and they're very strong. It'll take a lot to break those, and I used as big a washers as I could get there. Well, I hope you found this somewhat useful or interesting how I organize everything out in here. It was 70 degrees in the car before I started opening the doors and keeping them open and filming. Now it's 48, so it's already kind of cold and the sun's already going down. So I'm gonna have to get in there. Might light the lighter. The candle is in a little glass lantern, perfectly safe. I've tried knocking it over. When you knock it over, it just goes out. It doesn't really, there's no risk, so it's perfectly safe. Although I did burn myself on the metal part once. But that's it. That's the tour of my car. There's not much to it. You just make do with what you have. Squeeze in what you can. I sit easily Indian style with my legs crossed, and I can sit there comfortably in the back and edit. Some people can't. If I have to straighten out my legs, I can actually put my legs down on the side here and comfortable. I get out. You can get out once in a while and just stretch out. So it's really nice. It does get cold there because I keep this window open all the time. The other side with keeping these windows open is you always have to park with this side away from the wind. So I always look at the wind forecast and try to park either the front right of the car or the entire back right of the car into the wind. That way none of it blows in here. Preferably from that north front right, because then I could open my car door and wind doesn't just blow right in like it has. It's so miserable when you're cold and you open and the cold wind just shoots right in. In the front right passenger seat on the floor, I do keep my snow cables for car tires. So I keep that there. I haven't had to use them at all. And there's not much else there. That's it. I'll give you a full tour of my solar system at some other time. And I was going to make videos regarding the hammock, although you saw everything. I'm going to go inside now. It's freezing. I will talk to you later. All right. Bye.